What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gerald from Bank of Gerald here with another video update. Today is Thursday, November the 3rd, 2022. Let's go ahead and talk about the bigger elephant in the room. We're going to talk about automated capital, and we're going to talk about NVFX. There's some things that have been going on with both of them, but of course, one more than the other because we're starting to see some things we don't like to see. All right. And we always talk about the good and the bad here, BOJ. You already know. So we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys, though, that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. All right. I'm just a dude on YouTube showing you guys how I am cranking out that crypto in many different platforms, nothing more and nothing less than that. Now, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to be updated and notified about everything going on here, BOJ, just make sure that you hit the notification bell as well. All right. So we have not been pleased with what we have been seeing from automated capital. It has been, and I want to preface this. I have always said I'm not the trader. You know, I'm a person that's just seeking opportunity. And that's a part of the reason why I got involved with this. I don't have to trade on my own. I don't have to manage and watch markets and different things. That's not my deal. All right. That's not my thing. I've been upfront about that. And, you know, that's just where I stand at this point. However, a lot of the leaders that have been behind automated capital and a lot of people out there in the space that have put in a lot of money in automated capital have not been pleased with how automated capital has been handling their trades. Certain things have been mentioned like stop loss and certain things, different pairs that are not working, different world news, you know, why trades are still open. This certain things that I don't quite understand, but they're not happy about how automated capital is handling. A lot of people are considered leaving at this point. And I know at the last video that I did about automated capital, I mentioned that I had some levels that I was going to look at. And I said if it reached where it was at the point where it was under $10,000. Now, granted, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to show you guys how much I had put in here. Hopefully it hasn't signed me completely out. Because I've been looking at some things. I want to go ahead and see if I can get in here. Okay, so we're going to talk about where we are now in NVFX. I have a good amount of money as a whole because I'm in a few different PAMM accounts. Adiva Tech, of course, hasn't been performing the way I'd like to see, and of course, the automated capital GU has not been performing the way that I'd like to see either. But that's the risk we take. We all understand. We should understand. Never put anything in any of these platforms that you are not willing to lose, and that is why I've had this posture so far. I've deposited a net deposit just south of 28,000, so $27,836 is what I had deposited in this particular PAMM account, automated capital. At this point, we are at a negative $18,414, which puts our funds balance under $10,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had made a decision to have some levels of where I felt like I was going to start taking out money. And the first level definitely was 10,000, where I was considering taking out my funds and moving forward into something else. 5,000 is DEFCON 5 or DEFCON 3 or whatever you want to call it. It's like we're getting out. All right. That's, you know, and no shade on the people that have put automated capital together. They have been very transparent this whole way, which you can only expect when you have people holding you accountable in a group that actually know what they're looking at. All right. These people are not playing games about their funds, and they're not happy about, I mean, they all know the risk, but they're not happy about how automated capital has handled some of its positions in different trades. And as we look just from a layman level, and I'm scrolling down, this is the open positions. Now, I want to see on the closed positions because we seem to be closing on very small amounts of trades, but these bigger trades that we're losing more of our money, the $100, $115, $116, $117, $119 losses, they're coming from GBP USD. And based on what I'm seeing, that is what's getting us the biggest hit. That's what's making us lose the most money here. This pair, this GBP USD pair, where it seems that they are buying it and it's not working out. So, you know, even on these, it's you know, these are higher amounts that are just, and these are the closed trades. These are closed trades from, you know, the beginning of November and the end of like the last day of October. So not very good. You know, and the more that I'm kind of learning about trading, and I'm not learning that much, so I don't want to make sure I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm some kind of trading expert. I'm not. That's why, like I said, that's why I find stuff like this. But this is at that level where it's like on Sunday, I gotta consider pulling out. Now, I can only pull out on Sundays, all right? I can only pull out of this on Sundays, and that gives me a few days to kind of mull it over and decide. It depends on what the posture is in the Telegram group. Before we go to the Telegram group, I want to mention there's a lot of people that have also, you know, on the NVFX side, had some issues with withdrawals. So some people have been pulling out, and that's their prerogative. They have their own risk management to think about, and I have respect for that. We all need to be focused on our own risk management, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just kind of showing you how I'm handling this. But as people were pulling out, NVFX was having a hard time paying for a little while. I think some of the people that have had issues, they've gotten their withdrawals at this point. I know when I did my last withdrawal, it hit my account in less than a few hours. So I haven't had any issues with withdrawals from NVFX. But for those of you that may have been pulling out and getting out of certain PAM accounts at this time, you may have had that issue. I would just say stay patient. That is an NVFX thing. That's not an automated capital thing. Automated capital, to my knowledge, has not denied anyone who has put in a request the right way. And they're very clear about what to do with requests of withdrawals from automated capital in the Telegram group. So you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out. But that was an NVFX issue. They were having a hard time, but I believe they're starting to fix that based on some of the things that I'm seeing in my own private networks. People are getting their payouts from NVFX. So that's a good sign. I want to go ahead and hop into the Telegram group, and we're going to see what the last few daily reports have said about what is going on in this PAM. And this is a PAM that had a lot of success early. And we talked about it fairly often because of the positive things that it was doing. Recently, it's had a rough patch. They've talked about what their equity protectors are on. They've mentioned what their drawdown is. Every step of the way, they're letting us know what's going on in these daily reports. Whether we like the news or not, they are letting us know. All right. And that's what I do appreciate. They do seem like they're committed to rebuilding this thing. I've also heard that there's not going to be any fees going forward until this is fixed. I mean, that's been said before already, but this is something that has lost a good amount of money for some people that have been in it for a good amount of time. And some people decided to pull out before it got this bad. And that was just, some people just know more about what they're looking at, know more about what they're doing in the trading space than others. And I'm one of those people that people probably know more about this than me. However, the way that I came into this is the money I have risked. I have it to lose. Of course we want to gain. Of course, this is actually trading. So that's a plus on a hype, right? Hey, hypes, we don't even know if they're trading or not. We don't know what they're doing. This at least lets us know very transparently what each trade is, the open and close, what it's made, all that different stuff. That's the beauty of being attached to a broker. And it also gives us an ability to earn actively as well. If we get people attached to the broker pays out a little bit. That has more to do with the broker than it does with the actual PAM, because there are successful PAMs on these brokers. And just being honest, it's just finding the ones that work, right? Finding the ones that pay, finding the ones you can count on, while understanding that there is still a risk. All right. So you never want to put in anything that you're not willing to lose. So that's why I haven't been so drastic about pulling my money out of this thing, because, I started, understanding that I could lose it. At the end of the day, we don't want to lose. So we have to set parameters. And right now, automated capital is under my first considered parameter of withdrawing. It's under $10,000 with my funds at this point. And if it gets down to 5,000, if I haven't pulled out, then something's wrong with me, because I've decided that that's going to be my definite cutoff point. Right now, I'm in a teetering portion, because if they get rid of this pair and they have a good week next week, I might stick it around if it can rebuild itself above that 10K and then start moving. I don't know how aggressive it can move. I believe it's in a recovery mode where it's just trying to take any wins that it can get. But at this point, there are other opportunities On the other end, there are other opportunities that have just performed better and have been more consistent. And, that's just the truth of the matter. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And, you know, there's better opportunities out here for these funds that I have, that I'm willing to lose in here. So I'm teeter-tottering with both. That's just my opinion. Everyone is responsible for their own risk management and how they handle things. This is just how I'm kind of handling mine. I'm in a between place. So automated capital, try to get it together. I don't know what I'm gonna decide yet, but for the people that even decided to stay and to give you their business going forward, try to get it right. I have respect for people that decide that they're not going to quit. That's kind of how I am. That's what's kept me in this win, lose, or draw. You know what I'm saying? I just decided I'm not going to quit. So I have a lot of respect for automated capital and what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, if you keep on losing, something's got to change. And sometimes, it has to be the person that is invested or has deposited into it. Maybe they have to be the person to change. So, like I've said a million times, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor, right? And I mean that. I really do. But anyway, this is automated capital. This is just what's going on. I know I mentioned some of the other PAMs like Adiva that I'm in, not doing well either. And it's not the broker's fault that these PAM accounts aren't doing well. All right. I want people to understand, when people come to me and they say, well, how's NVFX doing? I'm like, well, it's the broker. So I assume it's doing fine. But when you're talking about PAMs, get specific. All right. Adiva, not performing. Automated capital, both GU and regular, not performing. All right. Not performing well. I mean, performance is what it is, but whether it's a good performance or a bad performance, it's a bad performance. All right. So anyway, put your 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you and all your wallets, because crypto is indeed the wild, wild west. And if you ain't strapped, you're bound to get hacked. Ask me how I know. It's not very fun at all. If you like this content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to be updated and notified about everything going on here at BOJ, just make sure you hit the notification bell as well. All right. I will see y'all in the next video. This is Automated Capital on the NVFX broker. And we all have some choices to make. All right. Peace out. See y'all in the next one.